Welcome to the first devlog of the SpriteEngine. Today I'm gonna show you how the engine is structured, how the code works. I'm 16 years old and I'm the solo dev of this project, and all this code is available on GitHub. Okay, so let's hop right into it. Let's talk about the project structure, or better said, let's talk about how you get it as a user. So as a user, you're gonna download only this engine folder, and in the engine folder there will be only the engine assets because you need to load them, the fonts or the icons, and there is gonna be a template user folder which is gonna be copy pasted to the path where the user will create a new project. So this is a user project. It's dumb sorted. What the hell? Yeah. Anyways, this is the user project. You are gonna get the x64 folder. There are some DLLs there which you need to run the .exe, and you're gonna get a solution file, and you're gonna get a engine folder where is there is the like source code of the engine. You got also the saves folder. These are like just CSV files. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. And yeah, that's about it. So you're not gonna get this. You're just gonna download the engine.exe, the engine with like the engine assets, and the engine.exe with the DLLs again. Okay, so let's hop into the engine and let's talk about the code structure. If it load like okay. So let's start with the main method. So we just got like here a like project selector, and it just stores some data about the project you select. This is like here we have like the project, which is a uh, user project info. By the way, my names are very uncreative. I'm sorry about that. And you just store like it's just a simple struct, no methods or something. You just store the relative path, the name, and the date in a string format when it's last opened. Okay, and yeah, this project selector is basically um, here to like select a project, and as you can see, there's no project selected. Well, we can click open, and then like there's like a UI window where we can select our project. We can go now to dev, SpriteEngine, and assets is a valid project because it has the verify.vsn file. Uh, the project needs this to be valid, and now you can open it, and it will display here. So you can just click this, and this will open a project where you did something or you like. So yeah, this is just this is like a small example of the code structure. We're not gonna get into all it. I'm gonna make a longer video where I'm gonna like explain all the problems I had and get very deep into the code structure and how everything works together. But yeah, just got this like simple game engine here, which is like yeah, the main part. It just has a UI window and a UI real-time editor. The real-time editor is the stuff where you can like move around, select sprites, drag them around and stuff. And yeah, just like some public members. Here we have like the event. It saves like some data, I guess, and the window event from SFML, and the pointer to the render window. Okay, let's look into the update function because this is the most interesting part about it. So in the update function, we have first of all this function called update window style, and this just like full screens it if you like press certain keys, obviously there's also a poll events function to poll the SFML events. And here we are gonna do the UI stuff. I think this is very clean. I just have like this UI window calling the like update function, and the UI realtime editor calling the update function. Let's look into the UI window, and this is, I think, also very clean to have this like separated in more objects. For example, the UI hierarchy, UI tools, buttons. I know this is a weird name, but this is like just these buttons over there. There will be more. Then you have like the UI inspector. This is like, you know, this is like this on the right where you can like add components, and modify the components and stuff. Then you have like a UI assets folder. This is this where you can select a sprite, I guess, and like drag it in here. And then you have UI animations, which I'm actually currently working on, and it's not working. You have like this animator tab. You can like add an animation, anim, and you can edit it. But you know, as you can see, this is very unclean. I don't like this. I'm gonna edit this again and make it better so it works. And we have a bool if is any UI window hovered, because like if you have a UI window open, like right now we are hovered, and if we scroll with the mouse, we won't zoom in, but now we can zoom in because we are over the, not over a UI window. Let's look into this update function of the UI window. Yeah, this just calls the render style from, it's just like set some style colors for, I don't know, the title background. Yeah, this just creates like a hierarchy window. I create tools and buttons, the inspector, the asset linker. Names are so creative. And the UI animation window. Okay, this is almost all about it. I'm not gonna get into this code because this is just like, you know, GUI stuff. It is actually very simple. So let's talk about how I call the user project. So this is in UI tools and buttons. Cause yeah, if you press that like button over there, we're gonna load the game, right? So if we play the game, we want to open a new .exe. And yeah, we do that. We just like set the current directory to the path to user project. So if we open the user project, what, do I have it open already? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. If I try, for example, IDE, okay. If I try to load a file, if text load from file, and I try to load a file, like I'm gonna go into here into like sprites, and I don't know, hello.png. So this will load the sprites hello.png into text, right? It will search for a folder called sprites, or it will go into the folder called sprites and load the file hello.png. Well, if we call, like, if we write this code and we're calling, and we're like just doing the system call and like calling the user project, this is not gonna be the path, right? It's gonna be like wherever the engine is slash sprites hello.png, and this is very annoying for the user and it's just dumb. So we are changing the current directory to the path to user project, so the user can do this and not like have this wherever the engine is. This is dumped. This is not needed. And then we're just calling it, you know, and then we are resetting it and we're deleting the white string. Okay, so let's open the SS project and let's see what we can do. Okay, so we have here this hierarchy. We can, okay, I'm gonna delete everything. And this is just the empty game window. If we run it right now, we just get an error. We get that error because we're trying to load a sprite called Rick, and then we are modifying the sprite. We're reading data from the sprite Rick, and this is obviously because it's not working because it's a null pointer, so it just crashes. So let's create a sprite called Rick. Okay, and let's give it like Mega. The sprite Mega. As you can see, this Mega sprite is also here into the assets. Sprites, it's Mega. You can add new sprites or a text document and it will update. So we can like take this Rick sprite and I'm gonna show you the code that I wrote. Oh, I forgot to mention something important. In the SpriteEngine, you don't need to attach a script to an object. You can program the whole game in one class, which is ugly, I'm gonna be honest. But you just like have a sprite pointer here. I've called this sprite, and you can just do this sprite is like SCD sprite get sprite by name Rick. Then you're gonna get the sprite Rick if there is one, and if there isn't one, well, you're gonna get a null pointer. And we can just like check for inputs right here. If we click on key hold, if we hold down A, well, what we're gonna do? We're gonna move it to the left. If we hold down W, to the up, and so on. Okay, so let's start this real quick and let's test this. As you can see, I'm pressing the buttons, but nothing seems to happen. Well, actually something happens, but just the camera is on this sprite, so the camera moves with the sprite and it looks like nothing happened even though something is happening. So let's comment this code out and it's gonna build, and now as you can see we can move the sprite very clean. Yeah, this is obviously not the only thing we can do. We can create, for example, another sprite and like make this a little bit bigger, I guess. We can add like a box collider to here, make this thing solid. I could have made the solid thing to the rigid body, but I don't like this because I need to make so much more calculations if I have a physics body, and having it on the box collider makes kind of more sense. Yeah, so I did it like this way. You don't need to make this actually solid to collide with it. As you can see, you can just collide with this with the sprite, and yeah, it will work. Let's test actually the speed, how fast we can go into the sprite, because at some point it will just like clip through it. Okay, 2000. I clipped through it, I guess. But as you can see, this is pretty fast and it is still working. Let's close the user project here and let's make it to like something like, I don't know, 4000. This will maybe like clip it through. And it's still working. I don't know if Unity can handle such a speed, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, it's working. Cool, but I'm gonna make it back to 800 because we need to test things. Okay, so I can just, by the way, you can move around by holding down right click and just dragging and scrolling with the scroll bar and zooming, yeah. And you can also change the background color right here. Yeah, I'm gonna make this like a little bit more, I don't know what. White looks ugly. So, like something like this. And you can also reset the camera if you want to be like this default position. Okay, let's add to the sprite, for example, a physics body. The physics body does not have much features yet. It just has like this gravity and mass, which the mass is not even working yet. But yeah, the gravity is working. And as you can see, we just fly down it. Yeah, got it. The velocity did not reset when we hit that sprite, so you're gonna have to implement that yourself. And you can also obviously delete components, and yeah, the physics body and the box collider got deleted. So SpriteEngine obviously also has sorting layers. Yeah, I'm gonna add that box collider again. I won't make it solid. By the way, the edit button still doesn't work. I didn't implement it yet, but you can like make the width a little bit more, bigger, and it will be a box now, I guess, a bigger box. And as you can see, it's pretty clean working. Okay, but I'm gonna reset that. Ah, never mind. Oops. Okay, let's add another sprite, and this sprite will actually be a child of Rick. Yeah, you can do that. And what the cool thing is about, you can add a box collider to the sprite. I'm gonna give it like this like sprite hash. And if this child sprite is colliding, it will stop also the parent child, which is pretty cool. It's like working like a I don't know, um, like a tree, you could say. Because if like a tree collides with something, it will stop the whole tree, if that makes sense. Or like, I don't know. I'm bad at explaining. But yeah, it took very long to create like this feature, even though it looks so simple, but you can obviously also go from two sides into it. You won't clip into it, which is very cool. You can add also more sprites and still not clip into it. Let's add another sprite. Sprite 4. Make it like here. Add like this mega. Or like let's add the creative. And give it a box collider as well. And yeah, as you can see, we're still not clipping into it. Let's make the speed a little bit higher. Something like this will hopefully do it. And as you can see, we are very fast and we're still not clipping into the sprite, which is actually cool. Let's get into the next stuff. How is the stuff saved? Let's go into the assets project and go into the engine here, and let's look into saves. We have some files, some text files, as you can see. We have like this little sprites. It is not little, but like this is a CSV file. Obviously there are better ways of doing it and smarter ways, and I don't know. But I just came up with this. It is very easy. It works. And yeah, I found no problem to do it. So I just did it this way. Yes, you can see you're storing all the properties of a sprite, and then you initialize them. Yeah, the initializing code is very ugly. I can't look at it. My eyes are hurting. But I'm gonna obviously anyways. So let's go into here. Yeah, this is the initializing code. It is I can't see it. Like, what is this? This is like we are just like splitting the string, and then we are initializing all the properties which are with a new sprite. This is on the heap, as you can see, obviously. And yeah, it is very ugly. I can't look at it. And yeah, this data is obviously saved at the user project, so you can also modify them, which is like cool maybe. And you can also modify the engine itself. You can go to the engine assets, can go to the like I don't know icons, modify the default icon if you don't like it. Like you can make it, I don't know, blue if you don't like it. You can also go into here. Nah, this is not important for the user, my bad. You can go into here. This is like the only file which the engine needs to go to the user projects, because this file saves the projects which it knows. So it knows about the assets project which is located here. Sorry, my bad. Here. Well, how does it know about this data? You can start it, go to the project selector. First of all, you can create a new project, or you can open a new project and tell it by this way, where the project is. This is the sprite class. Obviously in the engine are only sprites, and let's just look at the public. So we have a name, a path, like a path to the picture, the sorting layer, the collider, yeah, all the components. There's no animator component, as you can see, because it did not add this to the template project yet. So you can, but let's take a look at the box collider. So here are some pretty interesting, oops, never mind, peak definition. Here's some pretty interesting data you can use as user. You can, yeah, I should make this private. Why do I, okay, so you can just, like, you can check if it exists. There is no, like, I don't know, like get component, I don't know, or something. You can just, the sprite has a component, has it fixed component, but it just has a boolean which is called existent. If that is true, it is doing calculations. If it's not true, then it's not doing calculations. So you can very easy add up a component by just setting this to true in the code. And yeah, a boolean call is in collision, and the sprite, the colliding sprite, the sprite where it's applied. I should make this private too, never mind. And just some box collision data. Like if you're colliding with this side, then the position data will have like stored that it's colliding from the left, right? And yeah, that's almost all about it. There's a little bit morphing, but I'm gonna show this in the next video. Yeah, the box collider with left or right. This is like a very bad name for the things it does, but it's basically just this like width. You can like make this bigger, smaller as you want. A bit more at the sprite class. So we have here also a transform component, like in Unity. It's just clean to have like this type of stuff stored in this transform component. We have like the position, the last position, the next position. This is like temporary. I should make this private. And a scale, a size. I don't need this. I don't know why I did put this here, but as you can see, it needs a lot of optimization yet, and it is not finished. Yeah, you have like a set sprite texture method, set sprite position. This is also private. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And the rest are just like some getters and setters. And you have also a very important thing is the active sprites vector. So you can access every sprite with this vector. You can like write std sprite. You can say this sprite is std sprite active sprites 0. Then you're gonna get the first sprite in the list. On this would be Rick. So you're gonna get Rick, right? Yeah, this is the way how you can use it. I would not recommend it though, because there is like get sprite by name or like just some better functions for it. There's not really any more to cover. In the next video I'm gonna get much deeper into the project structure, how I solved some problems, and yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. if you're programming a game engine yourself or just want to know how I did it. Also, if you have some advices I could do, please tell it to me in the comments. I really want to learn new stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.